If I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing? Do you think that it would change a thing?
Hey there, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, joined once again by Ben. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, mate. How are you yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Just plugging along. Obviously, I'm still working, mate. So I'm an essential. So I'll take it.
I'm an essential, but workplace is shut down for.
Yeah, mate. So I suppose if you're an essential, your class is royalty pretty well at the moment. So obviously we figured there's not much football going on, so we'd hit to social media and so forth and try and track down a few ex-Jets and see if they'd be happy to jump on and talk a little bit about their career and obviously what they're up to now. And first cab off the rank, we found Jobe Wheelhouse just lurking around. How are you, Joe?
How are you, boys? All right?
Yeah, mate, absolutely fabulous. How's everything treating you?
Yeah, good. It's obviously a pretty strange time for everyone at the moment, but I mean, yeah, everything's going pretty good. Family safe first and foremost, and business is still ticking along, and it's good to try and give back in any way I can. Hopefully, we've got a few listeners in tonight.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty out there keen to see what you're up to these days, and obviously, sort of listen in and see sort of what it was like from sort of in the background of obviously what was going on from the Jets from your early days to obviously when you finished up there in end of 2013. So we'll start from the beginning, mate. Obviously, you're a Toronto junior.
Yeah, I'm a Toronto junior. I played all my juniors up until about age I believe 11 or 12, and then I had 1 year at Belmont only because Toronto didn't have a team in, I guess, A division or first division at the time, so I jumped ship for a year. And then, it was like Newcastle Breakers, I guess sort of like the Newcastle emerging Jets now. So
Yep.
That was sort of age 13 to 15, playing in that really good Sydney comp that the Jets are now trying to get back into, or we've finally just got back into that competition now. So, yeah, it's been a long time coming, but it's great now that, the best kids in Newcastle are playing against, some of the best kids in Australia. It's taken a while, but we finally got back there.
Yeah, obviously, we'll get into that a little bit further at the end of the show, where obviously your new business, obviously that you're doing, obviously with all the juniors and sort of showing them and obviously progressing the junior and the youth talent, obviously in Newcastle. So it's good to see that you've got some part in that. So obviously, when I suppose when you see the likes in a couple of years' time or maybe longer playing in the A League and so forth, you can sort of sit back and go, well, I had a hand in that, getting them there. So. It's good.
Yeah, well, that's the idea, We've been going for established in 2012. So what's that, 8 years now? So we've been going for a while. We've got a few kids into the Jets youth team and stuff now. So it's just starting to progress into the sort of 17, 18-year-olds. They started with us when they were, young kids. But I mean, we've got a really good core group of kids from about age sort of 8 or 9 to about 15 at the moment, which is the sort of age group before they progress into the Jets. So we sort of try and facilitate as much as we can and get them into, although we back our own academy, I think they've got to be playing the games against the best kids. And that's, I guess a starting point for us to try and, develop the players and then progress them into a higher end academy, I guess.
Absolutely. So obviously the whole Newcastle Jets campaign started in 03-04, where you were still technically playing in the NSL, last season of the NSL there. Pretty good season for yourself, I suppose. Was it round one? Scored in the opener match there against the Football Kings. I think they were named back then.
Yeah.
In a massive crowd in front of 2,300 people there. So, mate. What were you back then? About 16, 17 or something like that, mate? Would have been impressive.
Yeah, well, I think just trying to think. I don't know whether it was the A League or whether it was the NSL, but I mean, I think I made my debut against Adelaide in Adelaide. Pretty sure. But I do remember that game. That huge crowd in where was it? Auckland. Was it Auckland?
Somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they used to play out of Auckland. So, no, I do remember that game. We did win that game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 2-1. You and Masala Massey on the score.
Sala, yeah. Oh, he was a really good guy to play with, actually. Sala, you'd never met a nicer bloke, but as hard as bloody nails, you could crunch him as hard as you wanted to in training. He'd just get up and everything. You know, he's the type of guy you really want to play with.
Yeah, absolutely. We ended up going into round 2. Ben, you got the scoreline? No? Oh, Ben's gone for a moment. He's MIA. Round 2, beating Northern Spirit, mate. Scored 2 goals, 2 penalties.
Yeah. Well, I was only a young kid. That was the old Marathon Stadium then. And I think Mark Milligan actually left the Institute of Sport maybe a couple of months before me, and he went straight to Northern Spirit, and I was sort of the second player to come out of our intake to go into a first grade team. So we sort of played each other within a week or two of coming out of that program together, and we were lucky enough to win that game. I guess, I was sort of didn't have any fear when I was a young kid, coming out with a lot of confidence, and sort of only just been in the first team not too long. So, it was a surprise that I guess they let me have the penalty for a start. But, I mean, to score two in the one game was obviously great, and it was a good start in my career.
Yeah, I said, don't quote me. We were having a bit of a chat about the old Wikipedia last night of the good stats of
they're good, the Wikipedia. They're always getting things right.
So apparently, according to Wikipedia, it tells me you were the leading goal scorer that year with 4 goals. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, never happened again. That's for sure.
So obviously, 2003 was a pretty good year in general. Obviously, that was the year you went to the youth championships, I believe, over in was it Saudi Arabia or something like that?
It was in Dubai actually.
Dubai,
so they it was on the year before that, and they had to postpone with all the unrest in the Middle East at the time. So we all myself and Mark Milligan actually were in that team as underages. Yep. But then, we actually ended up being the right age the year after, or maybe 18 months after they ended up doing it. And, we had a decent team, like Carl Valeri, Broski, Scotty McDonald, who else was there? David Tarker, Michael Thwaite. Who else was there? I think Brett Holman was in the team at the time. So it was a pretty decent group. We actually beat Brazil in our group game 3-2. They ended up winning the tournament, and we got knocked out in the round of 16. So it was a bit hard beating the team that won it in the end. But I mean, I guess we got beat by the host nation, actually 1-0 in the round of 16.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Obviously, fair bit of experience at a young age. Obviously, playing against what I could imagine the Brazilian side back then looking like would have been interesting. Now, obviously, with some of the stars that probably still running around.
Yeah, one big name. You probably know him. Danny Alves played right back for him. So they had a decent intake. But they were just Ange was the coach, so we were well drilled, and I think the game ended up 3-2 our way. I think we led 3-0, and we were just on top of the world. But I mean, they come home like a house on fire. The last sort of 15, 20 minutes, it was just the Germans with the bayonets out, just like backs against the wall for the last sort of 35 minutes. So, just camped in our end. But we ended up getting away with a result. And I'm pretty sure it might have been the first team. I remember written on the whiteboard, we'd made history. So I think we might have been the first team to beat Brazil in any national team, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, there you go.
Massive achievement. Absolutely. I'm back from MIA. I was just checking in on the stream to make sure that all the audio is coming through clearly. So the question I've got here is, so what was the first season like at the age of 18, playing 8 games in the NSL, getting called back from the AIS, as well as representing your country 12 times?
Oh, look, it was a dream come true, I guess, to be honest. A young kid, Newcastle born and bred. I guess I was sort of like the childhood prodigy, me and Stewie at that age, Stewie and Charlotte coming through those years in Newcastle, and then going to, playing all those years together, and then having some success too, like in that sort of Super Youth League, they used to call it, when we used to travel to Sydney every second week and play the Marconis and the Leicards and the Sydney Uniteds and, all the good young teams back in those days. And it was just a really good platform for us. And it's why we had such good success moving forward. Like, I think we won nationals in age under 15. So we beat Sydney in the final in Northern New South Wales. So, that had, I think Nigel Bogard playing an age up in that group. So, we've always been able to produce good young players coming out of it. I think we might have had like 4 or 5 players from that intake make the Institute of Sport from Newcastle. So, but in terms of like me personally, dream come true, wanted to be a professional sportsman when I was a young kid, played cricket and soccer at a decent level. And then at age sort of 14, when I was making those trips to Sydney in the Super Youth League to play all those teams, we had to sort of make a decision whether it was cricket or soccer. And decided with soccer. I was, like I said before, I had, I guess, the world at my feet until, I don't know, probably 18 or 19. I was, even up until age probably 20, I was still considered, one of the better players around. But I mean, that can soon really change with regards to, like injury and also, setbacks. And to a degree, that's something that, I probably didn't deal with as well as what I should have at that age. But I mean, I was still able to have a decent career out of it. And obviously to play for your country as well is a pretty decent achievement. I would have liked to have obviously played for the full national team like some of my mates, but, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, mate. Well, nonetheless, obviously it was a good start to your, what was, as I said, a successful career at the Jets. We then moved obviously into the 2005 season where, the NSL's gone, it's depleted, and they move into the A League, where I believe it was Richard Maroney, something.
Money.
It was Money, wasn't it? Yeah. Was the coach. First year of the A League. You boys finished 4th, which obviously is a great achievement. We've obviously it was a very young side. That you guys had. There was your couple of your older players and so forth, but what was it going? We got beat. I think it was against the Coast in the minor semi-final. So, what was that like playing under Richard Money? Obviously, the A League in general, it was a new competition. You had the likes of Ned Zelic coming to the Jets and obviously playing as well. Was it a completely different year compared to what it was the year before at the NSL?
Look, I think so. I mean, Richard Money was obviously a UK manager that come in and did things a little bit differently to, the usual Australian coach or coaches that I've had in the past. Just like, like to play, down their end, like to play the channel ball, like to play the target man. I'm pretty sure he brought in Guy Bates at the time. I'm pretty sure as a young, I think he was only 18 or 19 at the time. But it was not a style of play that I guess I was used to. I don't think, it was a style of play that probably a lot of players in Newcastle were used to. But at the same time, it was a little bit, we had some success, so, look, he wouldn't be the best coach that I ever had, but, I got along with him fine. And, look, it was a successful season for the team. Get knocked off by, I didn't know, my memory is pretty ordinary, to be honest, but I mean, what was it? We finished 4th, did we? Or?
Yeah, so finished 4th, so then we played the Central Coast in the first, in the minor semi-final, where we got knocked out.
Yeah. I do remember a lot of nights, actually. I probably remember more nights out on the sauce that year than what I actually did on the football pitch, to be honest. It was a crazy young group of boys with a few old heads that were leading us the wrong way. But anyway, that's for another day.
So obviously, at the same time, as you sort of mentioned, obviously Money, obviously European background and so forth coming in, a lot of young blokes, obviously young Australians, who, as you said, probably wouldn't, not used to that style of football at all. I'm sure he definitely brought a completely different structure to what you guys have been used to, even playing at, say, even the AIS and stuff like that.
Yeah, look, it's what we were always taught. Steve O'Connor's probably the best coach I've ever had, and he was always like the Argentinian way. Like a lot of different coaches have got their own philosophies and their own style of play, but I mean, we were always taught at a young age. So I had like Brett Cowburn, who was a really good coach, Bogues, and a few others at that type of age group, Flash Jennings and all those type of guys in those sort of Northern New South Wales young breakers teams.
Yep.
And they all had a decent background of football and knew the game and were quite clever. So we were probably lucky in a sense. But then I went to the Institute, and then I was just blown away with, his whole coaching philosophy and how he, I coach my kids a lot that way, even these days, trying to keep the ball in tight areas and, all that type of stuff. So, we used to play like 11v11 in a, 15 square meter block, like it was just 20 players in such a small room, like a room in a house. It was just ridiculous. But, it really, I guess, made us the players that we were. And it's unfortunate that program's now shut down because, my era had some good players, but I mean, you only got to look at the players that come through the system even before us, like the golden generation. A lot of the players went through the Institute, and that will be a reason why, one of the sole reasons why, we're not doing so well at the moment, because places like that where all the best players were honing their skills day after day after day in a professional environment with coaches like that is just you can't beat it.
Yeah, it is a shame that it's all gone now. But just another quick question: what was it like playing with Ned Zelich?
Oh, he was a strange guy, Zeller, that's for sure.
It's not the first time I've heard that, actually.
Yeah, neither.
He's look, there's no doubt his individual ability, as he would say, individual brilliance. But yeah, his quality on the ball and stuff was second to none. There's not many that was as gifted as him that have played for Australia. But I mean, we were obviously lucky enough to he had that aura about him when he played. Like, although he was a little bit different off the pitch, he had that aura about him. So he dragged a lot of players with him. That type of player. I do remember one little story actually with him. We were on an away trip, and again, my memory's not the best, but we were playing a game of cards, and it was just normal game of cards, night before a game or something, and it was like a glass table as a coffee table, and he just lost a hand, and next minute he's just gone off his rocker and just smashed. I don't know, it was a glass he had with him, or it might have even been his hand, and he just went straight through it and just smashed it to smithereens.
Yeah, right. Sore loser.
Yeah, real sore. I'm like, we've got to play tomorrow.
Oh, that's a classic. So
you don't need your hand to bag goals.
Done, yeah. What was I going to say? So yeah, so we'll finish off that season where you played 10 games.
Yep.
Was that an achievement? Were you happy with 10? Do you feel? I mean, obviously you're a young kid. Obviously, you're not expecting miracles to play every minute as much as I'm sure you wanted to. 10 games,
of course. Like, you
just
obviously,
want to play.
Yeah, of course. As a young player, you just want to develop and play and all that type of stuff. So, obviously 10 was probably an underachievement at that age. If I was 18 at that time, I probably played more games in my debut year than what I did then. But, that's what the game's all about, dealing with adversity and all that type of stuff. And I guess the landscape did change. Like, even the year after, we brought in in my opinion, a championship winning team. Like, we brought players in from everywhere.
Yeah.
So that we had to reset again, like all the young boys. So of course we were the up and coming kids in Newcastle, but I mean, we had to obviously work hard for our place in the team. And I guess it made us the players we were in the end. But of course we want to play, in every game. So, obviously 10 games for me is probably, it wasn't good enough. So that's the way I looked at it all the time.
Yeah. No, well, as I said, we'll fast forward on the first season of the A League. We'll very quickly skip through the second season of the A League, which I'm sure you don't want to remember much of that. Can you remember much of that one? The second season? Do you know what happened in the second season?
I think in the first game I broke my ankle, didn't I?
Yeah. 39 minutes in. Again, according to
Yeah.
Wikipedia, they're pretty accurate. So we'll stick with it. 39 minutes. Into round one.
Was it in New Zealand again?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do remember that. It was. I don't think I played another minute for the rest of the year. It was
No.
a bad one, and it took a long time to even get close to. I had a couple of bolts inserted by a guy by the name of Tim Musgrove in Sydney, who was like Kim Slater's right hand man. He was a young surgeon that I guess Kim was the gun, but I didn't know that at the time. And he gave all the I guess at the time shitty jobs to Musgrove, and he like Kim Slater did all the brought players in from Europe and stuff to do ankles and knees and stuff. He was like the guru. Anyway, long story short, he put a couple of bolts in my ankle and didn't work. Bullshit it completely. So I ended up going back and demanding to see Kim. And then, Kim Slater would have been probably 12, 14 months later, finally fixed me. Like, I continued to try and run it. Up having, I think I had like 9 or 10 surgery both ankles by the time I was a sour point in my career. But, they're just the things you got to roll with.
Yeah. Obviously, so early.
I had shares. By the end of it, I had shares. I had shares in Kim Slater's. Sure, that was the funny parting. Just to cane me all the time. So Jobe, he'll give you the die about it.
Yep. Just give me a sec, mate. You're dropping in and out there.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all right. It was just very, very drop in, drop out. You're not on Wi-Fi by any chance?
I'll just change it. Hold on.
Just see if it.
All right, there you go.
Right now, so yeah, it's picked up a little bit. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
No, we'll soldier on. What was I going to say? So yeah, obviously, how was that to take? Obviously, well, now that we know, we'll add that into the mix as well with the dramas that you had. Young kid, broken your ankle, you're missing a full season of the football. How was that to take? How hard was it to take?
Yeah, it was difficult because like I remember when I was a really young kid, like running around the backyard, just used to roll my ankle like when I was like 10 years old, and then even to the point where I was just walking down the street. So obviously I knew I had some serious loose ligament issues with my lower limbs, especially my ankles. But I mean, I never thought that it would actually get to the point where it did. We tried basically everything and went to a witch doctor in Karua, who I'm not sure actually whether he's still alive, but he was like 88 when I seen him. So anytime I had like, something to do with my ankle or something as a direct result from my ankle, we used to go there, and like he used to fly people in from all over the place. He used to work with the West Tigers unofficially. Used to take everyone from, his name was Derry. What was his last name? Derry. Can't remember his last name now, but really well known in the rugby league circle. And I used to send a lot of people up there. But I mean, obviously it was difficult to take at that age. But again, like I said before, it's just all about trying to build on adversity. And in the end, I thought I had an okay career compared to what I could have had. Yeah, probably nowhere near where I thought I would end up. But I mean, that's just the way it is, mate. Unfortunately, you've got to be able to hold your head high and say you had a decent career with what you could have,
Absolutely. So as I said, we'll fast track that one before we move on in seasons. We'll grab a couple of questions off you.
Yep.
Who was the biggest influence in your football career?
Probably my old man. Probably between my old man and Steve O'Connor. Like Steve Dad played rugby league at a decent level and, could have went to the Roosters. His mum and dad were born in Burke, so they didn't get much opportunity. He was sort of like a rugby league player that went and trialled at the Roosters and stuff when he was young, and could have left. Could have left mum in Burke, but he decided to stay. So he sort of reneged on his career to, stay with mum and all that type of stuff in the country, as you do. But I mean, when they moved to Newcastle, had me, and then, yeah, it's always a funny talk about, I would have been the little kid from Barrier, like the region where, we used to go and we used to play like junior teams and we'd play like Barrier, and they'd always have like one good kid. But unfortunately, the poor kids from the country, like majority of the time, they're getting beat like 15 or 20-0, and they've just got so much, passion, and they're still enjoying the game so much. And we always used to joke about that. But in terms of influence, he'd have to be number one definitely in my early career, because I wanted to be like Dad, even though he wasn't the football guy, the soccer guy. But and then probably Steve O'Connor, I would have to say. Steve O'Connor had a really big influence on me at the Institute of Sport, and like I said before, I take a lot of my facets of coaching from what we learned from him in an individual and team basis for a couple of years that I was with him.
Fair enough. This is where we could probably lose a few people in the live chat. Who do you support?
I'm a Man United supporter.
Might as well cut the interview here, I reckon.
maybe for you. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
As a Liverpool
fan.
No,
the Red Devils, since I was like really young. My auntie went to the UK on a thing, and she brought back a Red Devils football. I think I've still got it actually, and I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. So yeah, I was from there, and they've had some pretty ordinary times in the last few years, but I mean, they're still in terms of just turnover alone, I think they're still one of the biggest clubs in the world. They just haven't had the success they need to on the pitch. But I mean, hopefully they're starting to turn a corner. We've been saying that for a while, but we'll see.
Yeah, Ben, I think we've got a comment in there from Lachlan Marr in the chat.
We do. We've got a comment here in the chat from Lockie Marr, and that is, when are we going fishing, Jobe, with Ash Ifield and Topor?
Yeah, that one, mate.
Sorry, I've just got you again now.
Sorry. So yeah, Lachlan Marr's in the live chat, mate. He's virtually said, when are we going fishing with Ash Ifield and Topper Stanley?
Yeah, no, I do like me fishing, that's for sure. Me and Topper get out a little bit. He's got a decent little boat. When time permits, it's a good pastime of mine, and we generally get on some fish and get a good feed. So it's a bit hard at the moment, but yeah, it's it's something that we really like to do. And he's obviously seen a few photos up or something.
Nah, Lockie Marr, good mate of mine, mate. He's a diehard mate. Does a few competitions.
Does he? Yeah, right.
Sponsorship there by Mako.
Does he?
Wrapped his boat in like a Mako friggin' wrap and shit like that, little poly. So yeah, no,
yeah, cool.
Yeah, so no, well, yeah.
Oh, he needs to take us out then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Lockie's tee at the time and that when everyone's allowed back out of their houses.
That's it.
Final one before we move on. What was or is the biggest lesson you've taken out of your playing career?
Oh, probably just the whole adversity piece, like that's what I tell all my players. Like, I look at even my brother, like my brother was a good footballer. And when Branko was the coach, not that, a lot of us believe Branko was a good coach, he wasn't a great coach, but I mean, he had a really good understanding of what the players needed, and he was a good man manager. And, we had a little bit of success under him, but, I mean, he gave my brother a chance. And then we played a couple of first-team games in the pre-season together. And then, yeah, within a couple of months, manager changes, and then, he never gets another look in again. It's just, you just got to try and deal with those setbacks, whether it be injury, whether it be, the manager doesn't like you or whatever it is. So, the biggest lesson for me is that you just got to, head down, bum up, old school type mentality where, you just got to keep working hard till you get a chance. And, that's the biggest lesson for me, that although through, a lot of adversity, I was still able to have a half decent career.
Yeah, well, that's a decent one. All right, so we'll move on now to the big one, the 2007-2008 season. came into preseason without much playing time over the previous 12 months. Did you feel like you were a step behind everyone else before going out into preseason?
Look, and again, my memory isn't great, but I mean, I missed so many preseasons and so many seasons through ankle problems and all that type of stuff. So I'm assuming it would have been the same again. But I mean, I think from memory, I played in the first, I could be wrong, but I think I played in the first maybe 17 to 20 games, or I featured in the first 17 to 20 games of the championship winning team.
Yep.
Yeah, Dutchy decided to make a scapegoat of me. It was Sydney FC away. I don't get that stuff. Sydney FC away, we were getting beat 1-0 at half time. I started the game and got dragged, and I never played another minute for the rest of the year, I don't think.
That was a bit harsh.
That's rough.
Bloody
Yeah, so obviously it was great for the town and for the team, and I there support the boys. But obviously, it left a little bit of a dirty taste in my mouth, not being able to, well, not so much playing the grand final, but more like, contribute to the run that we went on, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, still on the start of the season. What was? Can you remember what the chemistry was like? Leading into that, like the start of the season, obviously the players we had. Again, it was a very, very youth side.
It was a youthful team, but it was a team that had a bucket load of game type experience. So I can't remember what Jura and Jado were. They were like, I don't know, they were maybe mid-20s, maybe.
Yeah.
But like they'd been playing NSL since they were like, I guess the same age as me.
Yeah.
Like 17, 18. So they would have had 6 or 7 years under their belt. Obviously, Stewie had come through a couple of good seasons, and he was like at the top of his game, probably the best midfielder in the country at the time. And yeah, we had some fantastic individual players during that time. And I guess, like I said, we obviously had some good old heads, but I mean, at the same time, we had, a lot of good young players. Mark Bridge was at the top of his game. Ante Kovic was obviously a great custodian in goals, and he was, a really experienced head that had been there and done that. Tarek Elrich, another young player that sort of come through within a year or two before that. I don't even think. I think maybe he sort of come in. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think he sort of come in. Dutchy brought him in sort of 5 or 6 games into that season. He was given confidence, and he just dominated. He had a really good year. So yeah, it was just, like I said, a fantastic group to be a part of, and something that, hopefully Newcastle can build again. Well, we went close. When was it? A year and a half ago. But I mean, it was a really good time for Newcastle, and I'd like to see the town get back to that state.
We're missing the all-important one there.
What's
the
that?
goat.
The goat.
Oh, the goat. Yeah.
The goat. The old Hoffo.
Good old Hoffy.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, he speaks for himself, doesn't he? Scored goals for. Yeah, look, he obviously get along with Griff really good. Play with him at the Jaffers. Still got a lot to do with obviously football in Newcastle, and he speaks for himself. Scores basically at will when he needed to, and he was always up for a really, he was there when you needed him for a really big game to score an important goal or to lift the team. So yeah, it was on paper it was just a phenomenal team. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so it's safe to say, obviously, from the start of the season, you guys felt like you had a team that could definitely compete for the title.
Oh, look, 100%. I think you always think that.
Yeah.
You've got to be confident. You've got to, have trust in the group that you have. You set goals at the start of the season, all that type of stuff. And yeah, it was a team that was put together that had real quality and a large amount of youth, but a good mix of experience as well. And yeah, some stories around that year for sure that I'll never forget. Obviously I had some good times at the start of the year, but I mean, after a win like that, a grand final win like that, it's something that you're never going to forget.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll move towards the latter part of the season, and we finished second in the league with 9 wins, 7 draws, 5 losses. Do you think we dropped too many points with all the draws that we had?
Mm, yeah. Again, I'm going off your data here. My
It's
my
pretty well,
I
mate.
won't say it for a third time, but yeah, it's oh look, you obviously want to win football games.
Yeah.
But how many points did we finish behind? Second?
So finished second, 9 wins. I think we were only 3 points behind the coast.
Yeah, okay. So it
Um,
probably in the end was a defining factor, hence your question. But I mean, yeah, look,
Yeah.
it's yeah, you obviously want to win games.
Yeah.
Back then, we probably did speak about that. But I mean,
Yeah.
after you finish that season, you reset, and
Yeah.
all you're thinking about is trying to win football games in the finals. So yeah, it was something that probably was spoken about, but something that I definitely don't remember.
So, well, yeah, okay. We'll see how we go with these ones. Obviously, 'cause they are into the final series. So obviously we win the major semi-league 2-0 against the Coast.
Yep.
Leading into
that was the first one, yeah.
Yeah, so the first one.
Yeah.
So we go to Gosford.
Yep.
With a 2-0 lead. Pretty much all we have to do is defend. Don't have to do anything
Correct.
silly. Just see out 90 minutes and we've booked ourselves a grand final. Wasn't the case, unfortunately. Go down to Gosford, get smacked 3-0.
Yeah.
Can you remember? Well, obviously you didn't play much at the back end of the season there, so I don't even know if you were in the sheds, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if you were, can you remember? Obviously, Gary and so forth, like his reaction. I'm sure he can't have been impressed.
No, well, I know whether I remember or not, he definitely wouldn't have been impressed.
I was going to say, I'm sure you've had plenty of memory, no matter what loss it was. I'm sure he didn't take a loss too well.
Yeah, no, I think I might have actually been on the. I can't remember. I think there was only one game since that round 17 or round 18 game against C where he brought me back on the bench. It was like trivial. It was funny actually. Of all the other games, he brought me back into. I don't know where it was that game, but I remember it being against Central Coast in the final series.
Yep.
And that would be the only other game. We only played in one for the GF, didn't we?
Yeah,
home and away.
Yeah, home and away.
Yeah, home and away, and then yeah. So one of those games, I was on the bench, but I mean, yeah, no. Again, I can't remember the mood in the change room at that time, but I know that there would have been some pretty stern words said from Dutchy about trying to reset and go again, because obviously whatever he said had worked, because we're a different beast from sort of then on. It would have hurt the boys to give away such a lead. It's a difficult one to lead 2-0, to be honest. Like it's one of those, even inside, let alone two legs, but even inside just the one game, 2-0 at halftime is like the worst lead. You want to try and keep yourself going and go and get another goal, but I mean at the same time you're like, we don't really need to defend, and then we start dropping off, then things start to happen. So yeah, for memory, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and we copped 3. So
yeah. So obviously, we get beat by the Coast. They cement their spot in the grand final. We then have to play Brisbane, or Queensland, as they were known back then, at home, where we pretty well had the game won. It was done and dusted.
Yep.
And then 90th minute, pretty much one of the last kicks of the game, we give away a penalty and sends it into extra time. I can't remember, and your memory's not that vague. Can you remember? Can you remember who gave?
Yeah, I definitely would have been in the stand that game as well.
Yeah.
So I do remember. That's obviously the game where Tarek scored the sealer 3-1.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that was his first goal for the club as well, or first professional goal. Pretty sure. But yeah, it was obviously a pretty hectic feeling to win the game. But I mean, yeah, it's not something that you don't, you're trying to defend that lead, and then you cop a goal in such a not unusual, but hard circumstances, and then you reset again after almost getting over the line, and the boys obviously showed great character, as they had done all throughout the year, to get themselves back up and obviously go and get another one. And I think the Tarek's one made it 3-1, didn't it?
Yeah, so Tarek, so we so they scored obviously in the last, pretty much one of the last kicks of the game to send it through to extra time. Then there was a penalty to our little what was it, the little maestro we had. I'm gone blank now. Chinese, was he Chinese or South Korean?
Oh yeah, Song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Song. Yeah.
Yeah, he goes down in the box. Obviously, Griffo steps up, takes the penalty, and then Elrich seals the victory. So gets us through to the grand final. You were there, obviously, in the stands. What was that like? Obviously, as a Novocastrian, you know, for the town, obviously, I'm pretty sure it was in front of about 13,000. I think 13,000. It must have been obviously, you know, an achievement, and obviously you must have been pretty proud being, as I said, a Novocastrian.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, you've got to put your own personal disappointments aside for the team that's actually out there, and you know, you've got to support your team to make sure that they're, you know, in the right frame of mind to go and to win football games. So, you know, although I was obviously gutted and disappointed and not happy, but I mean, that was sort of ongoing for about 5 or 6 weeks. So I was able to sort of, after the first couple of weeks, you know, although you train hard, you sort of know that you're probably on the outer and you never get in. So you've just got to make sure that you support the boys and I guess wait for a grand final party, I guess. But yeah, obviously it was a big achievement to get into a grand final. But then, you know, obviously what happened, you know, a week or two later was just obviously phenomenal for the town. And it's something that, you know, the whole of Novocastrian, all Novocastrians will never forget.
Yeah. So obviously that, you know, we're in the grand final. You're young. Obviously you haven't played much football. What was that week like leading up to the grand finals? Like, you must have been, you know, training your ass off. Obviously, just trying to get a sniff, obviously the bench, surely.
Yeah, look, you know, that never really wavered. You know, it's something that you've got to continue to work hard, even though at the time you're on the outer and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, it was just, you know, you're busting your ass to, you know, try and prove even at that late stage that you're good enough to be there. But I mean, yeah, it was just it was like a bit of a surreal week, to be honest. Like, there was not too much really changed. You know, it was the same sort of setup for the week. The group went down on the bus, and yeah, there was, you know, crowds from the stadium where we left off. Like, I remember watching the video back. Actually, there was a game of cricket on coming past, and yeah, one of the outfielders pulled the biggest brown eye you've ever seen in your life as we were going past in the thing, and we didn't obviously see it, but then the grand final video got played back to us. He was all over it. It was funny as, but yeah, it was just, you know, that grand final day alone on the bus was just pretty. Everyone was just zoned in. You could just tell that we were going to go down and get a result. You know, big game players, and yeah, it was a, you know, a really good feeling to be a part of that, you know, final day.
Yeah, obviously as a fan, you know, I think you're right. Obviously, you know, we all packed into buses. I remember it was fucking hot. Like, oh man, it was so hot. Christ, it was hot. So much sunburn. But yeah, you can feel just coming into Sydney. There was no Central Coast buses or anything like that. We hardly seen any of them coming down or anything like. And then when we finally got to the stadium, it was, you know, for a grand final you know, for a derby, and the fact that they only had to travel friggin' 30 minutes, it was dead, you know, in my opinion, of their fans. You know, I mean, I remember I got crushed when that goal went in, right on the fence line behind the goals and shit like that. But yeah, it was an amazing feeling. Obviously, obviously you were there, mate. You watched it. What was your reaction when Griffo scored that goal?
Bridgie or Griffo?
I don't know. You tell us. I don't know. I reckon it was Griffo, personally.
The age-old debate rages on.
The debate rages on. I don't know. You tell me. Who was it? Griffo, I love you forever, and Bridgie you probably don't. I don't know if you talk to him still, but it's the
No, I haven't spoken to him for a long time, actually.
Oh, there you go. Griffo scored.
But yeah. What was that?
I said, so Griffo scored then.
Yeah. King Griff.
King Griffo, that's it. No, I don't know. I don't even know where that came from. Just on the it started years ago. Obviously, we were part of the squadron and so forth and everything else. And Bridgie left, and everyone I was pretty shitty,
Gave
pretty
his
pissed.
stick. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were pretty pissed and pretty upset. Obviously,
Yeah.
he was he was a favourite, and the connection
Yeah.
he had with Griffo was just immense. And then he left, and then that was it. He lost the goal as well. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain.
Well-
Don't quote me, but I'm almost certain in Wikipedia, it has been stated that Griffo scored that goal.
That does not surprise me that they've got it wrong.
Oh,
I was sitting in the players area, just behind the benches with like a Paul Kohler and a few other boys. And yeah, just obviously phenomenal finish from Griffo. I mean Bridgie, but I mean it was just I don't know. It just felt like we were going to win the game.
Yeah,
I don't know, from the whole build up, as you say. The support that we had down there, the big flag was just obviously phenomenal behind the goals, and it just seemed like we were destined to win that game, and in the end, there's no doubt we deserved to. So
yeah, no, what was I going to say?
we did not get to take the toilet seat home though, as you would well and truly know. So the alcohol was flowing obviously after the game, and then next minute the trophy's gone.
Yep.
Big Con's got in his car and
Yeah.
pissed off. So yeah, we ended up literally with the toilet seat off the back of the bus ripped off.
Yeah.
Around our heads, so.
I was literally, oh man, I can remember it finishing, and there was again it was packed. There's so many of us, and everyone's like a few people obviously drove themselves down or whatever, caught the train and that. So they're sitting there watching the presentation and all this shit. I remember the full time whistle blew. We were out. Like we were gone. We were like, fuck this. Like we got wind of everyone was going back to the Adamstown Rosebuds Club, and that was it. It's like we're there, front row, got to be there. And I remember on the bus on the way back, buddy Con passed us in his limo. I'm pretty sure it was a limo, and yeah, he pulled into the servo. Obviously, the twins, and we pulled
probably
in for
still had it around his neck, did he?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. He still jumps in, got out of the car, and it was wrapped around his neck, and classic. Yeah, he was lovely. He slept. Yeah, I would imagine. What was he like as a owner?
He was fantastic. I got along with Con really well. Obviously there was that was made quite clear that he had sometimes didn't pay the players at a certain time. But I mean, his heart was always in the right place. He did a lot for the club, and without him, there wouldn't have been a Newcastle United, Newcastle Jets there for a long time. But I mean, he obviously had his certain ways, and I don't think we saw that. I think he gave it back to us on the parade, but I don't think we've seen it for about 5 or 6 days.
So safe to say that the night and about 3 nights after, you don't remember much.
Oh yeah, it's pretty dusty. I do remember a little bit, but I mean, it was good times. It was fitting that Adamstown Oval was pretty packed, and then then we went back to, I think West had us for the big after party, and then after that we went to the guy that managed the Newcastle Jockey Club ended up taking us at about, I think, 5 a.m. that first night. So we went back there, and then it was just pub after pub. But I was actually a little bit disappointing, to be honest, because obviously we weren't in a great state as the hours went on. But we must have got kicked out of at least 5 or 6 different pubs. They just wouldn't have us. So intoxicated, but I mean, not doing anything ridiculous. They just they wouldn't have us. We just won a grand final, and so that was a little bit disappointing. But I mean, there's some stories that'll go down. It'll go to your grave with that week. It was good fun. Some of the boys obviously didn't sleep for 3 or 4 days. I remember a few of the boys in Paul Hazel's pool. He lives on Burner Street. I think he lives maybe one back street from Burner Street in Merriweather, and I think it was the 3rd day, and they hightailed his wall and were swimming in his pool with the cops over. So that was fun. But I mean, it was good times. Everyone was enjoying themselves, and so they should.
Yeah, I think I got that's more than what Griffo gave me when I interviewed him. He couldn't remember much at all. He was he goes, I survived. I'm still alive. I don't remember much. And whatever they say, I didn't do it. That was pretty much his response.
he's worse than me. He couldn't remember what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty spot on there. Although he did give me a really good recognition of what was it when he was over in when he went to Japan. His brother came over and they went to the strip club. Went not the strip clubs. What was it? Went to the nightclubs or something.
Yeah.
And
The karaoke bars.
the karaoke bars and shit, and got himself in a bit of trouble. And good recollection of that. But yeah, no.
I actually do have a good story of the Champions League actually with Dutchy and a few others, but yeah, I'm not sure whether.
Oh, go for it.
Go for it.
It can't be any worse than what, as I said, of Griffo's interviews on my channel somewhere, mate. Go and listen to it. It's a pisser. He didn't hold back. No, he don't hold back. He didn't hold back.
Nah. What I say in the next 10 words in this would probably ruin a marriage, to be honest. So I'll leave that.
Maybe not go down that road then. Hopefully his wife's not watching. Doesn't watch it, but anyway. We'll leave it there. We'll move on to the next season after a massive season, and obviously one that, as I said, go down in history and we'll never forget. The ACL season. Although the actual season as in the league wasn't that crash hot. We done pretty well in the ACL. So you were picked in the squad.
Yep.
What was that like playing in the ACL? Like obviously something so different. Something that obviously a lot of especially the Novocastrians you included have never really sort of played in. What was that like?
Yeah, it was obviously a great experience to travel to those parts of Asia, but also play against some at that time some really good footballers, some of the better footballers in Asia. Some of the teams that we played, the team that beat us, pumped us. Pohang ended up winning it, so yeah, it was obviously a great experience. Great for the crowds to see some technical good Asian players coming out to our shores and playing in games here, and yeah, it was a great experience for us to travel overseas and play in good stadiums against technically very, very gifted players. At that time, probably the Koreans and the Japanese and stuff. Barring the Brazilians and stuff, they were, and they are now. They're setting the standard for youth development. Some of the stuff that they're doing in the youth stuff these days is just ridiculous. So, but yeah, it was a really good experience. Obviously, we got absolutely hammered in the game that we the game that we lost in over there at the steel yard. But I mean, up until then, we looked okay. We got some good results. We got through the group. And then it was sort of downhill from there.
Yeah, so we got pumped 6-0. It wasn't that best. Wasn't that best game of obviously the ACL as you said. But what were they just a class above, or did you guys just go into it? Yeah, we
were depleted. There's no doubt about that. We were depleted. We had like a youth team out there. So yeah, that was obviously a disappointment that we couldn't put a team out that really could challenge. But yeah, it was like we had players playing all over the place. I was playing centre back. A few other boys that wouldn't normally get a game were playing. A couple of youth team boys were on the benches. So it was a very hard day at the office. I think we might have had about 6 or 7 starters out, to be honest. So it was always going to be back against them, the powerhouse of what they are. They had 2 or 3 Brazilians. Golden Boot Footballer of the Year that year. I can't remember his name. The guy that scored 3 or 4 against.
He scored 3. Yeah. I can't
Brazilian.
Remember. I'm not going to butcher his name. I can't even remember it.
Yeah, but they were obviously just like chasing, little motorbikes. Basically, it was crazy how fast their wingers were. They obviously had the top that was just banging in the goals for fun all ACL. I think he scored about 30 or 25 in that season just in ACL. So he's just very hard to mark, very hard to play against. But yeah, they were an intimidating team. We didn't have much of the ball, and it was just it's one of those nights where obviously you want to go there and put a really good performance, but everything just went. We just got smashed. So that's just the way it is.
Obviously, the season, as I said, the season itself wasn't that crash hot. We
No,
finished
we
at about
finished
11th.
bottom. Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, 11th, I think. So I think it was just below bottom. No, it was bottom. Yeah, it went from champions to spoons. It was, yeah.
It's 11 now.
I was trying. Yeah, it's 11 now, isn't it? Oh, I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a hard year. Lost Bridgie, lost Stewie, lost
North.
Dura.
No, North became.
Nah, Jade stayed.
Captain, that's right.
Dura left.
Cola left. Who else left? Friggin', there was a few in there.
Was Joel there still?
Yeah, Joel. Joel left halfway through. That
He
year.
did. Yeah,
He went overseas. He went to wherever he went.
yeah. He saw the writing on the wall. Old Griff.
Didn't let you guys in on it. Scored the wonder goal. Scored the wonder goal in the grand final and just went, "See us." Got me ticket out of it. Nah, but in that season though, there was one piece of magic. Do you remember that one, Ben? The only piece of magic from that season?
Piece of magic. You mean the one that the Jets Twitter page put on yesterday?
Yeah, which I thought was so ironic.
Yes, very.
But I didn't even have nothing to do with it, and I'm like, oh shit, who got wind of me doing an interview?
It's Laurie. Laurie knows everything.
Lozzie knows it. Yeah, Laurie. Yeah. The wonder goal, mate. That
against the Gold
against
Coast.
the Gold Coast, where Miriam Bleiberg came out and said Maradona style goal.
Yeah. Well, I'm not short and Argentinian, so I don't know whether it classifies. But I mean, yeah, it was.
Where did that one come from?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's just, I guess, a split moment. I used to score a lot of goals at training, but I was generally in my younger years, I was more of a number 10, an attacking player. But I guess a combination of not being able to run as well because of the ankle surgeries and getting a little bit old generally happens further back you go. So I played a lot of my Jets and Newcastle United career sort of as a number 6, so or at worst a number 8. So I mean, I would have liked to have scored more goals, but obviously that was a nice one. And yeah, it's just one of them things. That ball, I think Song cut a ball back from, and it wasn't a ball that you would normally strike. It was up around my hip, and it was just sort of instinct, I guess. It sort of come over me and just it came off 1 in 100. So yeah, the shin and top corner, and we win that game. So that's just one of those things.
The ankles were working then.
I just remember the look on Jets.
Bolted to the ground.
Yeah. The Jets. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Will there was.
He was livid.
Oh, yeah. Classic goal. But the biggest thing is, obviously, we've seen some crackers over the years. We've seen the scorpion kick and so forth. We won't compare it to that. That was just that was a freak and an absolute one in a million. He'll never do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll never try that again in his life.
If anything, very reminiscent to the recent 2 goals by Steven Ugarkovic and the 1 by Topper.
Well, I was about to say we won't.
Same sort of range.
We won't go into it. We'll leave Topper. Not Topper. We'll leave Stevie alone because he has that ability. But Topper, on the other hand, does that beat Topper's goal? Surely. He loves to talk himself up.
Yeah, a big topper. He's been scoring them at training, I hear too. Like even better than that. That's what I've been hearing.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. He doesn't score many, so I'm happy to give it to him. Like we don't score a lot between us, but I mean, I guess mine was in the air and his is along the ground. So I know which one. Degree of difficulty, I know which one's harder, but I mean, his was. We can give it to him. His probably went a little bit further in the top corner, but. He's actually coming over in about 10 minutes, so we're trying to get rid of the COVID.
Oh,
so I'll let him know that you gave him the one out of the top goal.
Mate, you can't beat that shit. That thing was hooking. That would have knocked anyone off their perch, I reckon.
Oh,
100%. Just by the expression on his face, it was just, oh well, fuck it.
Oh, he was frothing, wasn't he?
I'll have a go.
Yeah, why not?
Trying to pull his shorts off or something, wasn't
he? Yeah, the old pants down or something, or out wide or some shit. So we'll quickly ramp it up. What do you got there, Ben? Yep.
Get into that side of things.
We'll get into this side of things. All right, we'll see how. Surely the memory's got to be good about this. We'll move forward to the 2010, and we'll go Nathan Tinkler.
Yep.
Do you remember him?
I do remember Nathan.
So Nathan comes in. He comes in billions of dollars, and
Gung ho. Yep.
yeah, brings in David Beckham and all that to
Yep.
play the Galaxy. Almost make it to another grand final.
That was a good night. The Galaxy night was a good night.
It was a good night. You were
Yeah.
there. You were playing in that one, were you? I'm sure.
It was a good night. I was in the game, but I mean, the
Yeah.
actual night was a good night. Yeah.
It was a good atmosphere. I remember.
Yeah, great atmosphere. Good night. Big Lubo plus 20 at
Oh,
King
jeez.
Street.
Oh, big Lubo.
what's his catchphrase? Freaking
Was what?
Lubo.
Good vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
vibes.
vibes.
That's it.
It's all about the
It's all
vibes.
about the vibes. Yeah, far out.
And the coffee apron.
And the coffee apron. Loves it. So yeah, what was Nathan like? But like, as a player, obviously we've heard, we know what he did and what's happened. What he done to the club. Obviously, you throw Branko Kalina into the mix and everything as well. What? We'll start with Nathan. What was it? What was it like when he first came in? What was he like? What did he bring? What did he bring?
Well, I guess to start with, he brought like a lot of money. We were like every day at the Crown Plaza. No wonder that it didn't last very long. Like every day at the Crown Plaza for like all you can eat breakfast. Like this must have went on for the whole of the preseason. It was like we were like superstar. Well, we probably didn't think we were superstars, but I mean it was like Crown Plaza when it was nicely new furbished, like nicest hotel in Newcastle. We'd be there for breakfast every morning at this time, and then we'd spend all day there coming to and going from training. Heaps of Troy Palmer and the whole bandwagon was there, and at that time we just thought, oh, fucking how good's this? Like we're like little rock stars. But I mean, yeah, it didn't last too long, and yeah, I don't know. It was sort of, I think he always had the eye on what he can do with the Knights more so than what he can do with us. I think it was just all a facade, to start with, and it didn't last very long, to be honest. We were out of the Crown Plaza probably in about 2 months. So, but yeah, the amount of money that they would have spent just on that would have just blow you away.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely blow you away. But I mean, yeah, like there was good things that he brought in. I believe he organised the Galaxy game and all that type of stuff. So there's good parts to it. But I mean, it was never really going to last, was it?
Nah, 100%. Branko as a coach?
As a person or as a coach?
We'll
go
go
both.
We'll go
Go both?
Go both. What was he like?
Oh, look, he wasn't the best coach I ever had, I admit. He's not the worst I've ever had, but he was the best. And as a man, as a man manager, he was really good. We had a decent squad that really should have made the finals that year. There's no doubt about that. We should have made the finals. And I think everyone wanted to play for him.
Yep.
Like you get managers where they're not, I've played with under a few, like they're not the most technical. They don't run the best sessions. But the players want to play for him. Like he actually gave, and I don't know whether this is true or right, I know it's true, but I don't know whether it's right. He actually gave the players some ownership. I think that is good in a first team environment. Like he gave the senior players some ownership on, how the team, not so much is going to play, but how the team, delivers themselves in public and all that. He gave us a lot of ownership, which at that time I've got a lot of respect for him for. But I mean, as a coach, he wasn't the best I had for sure.
Yeah. So that he was he the coach who appointed you captain?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I knew obviously he then left afterwards, and before the.
So he got. We were in Sydney Football Stadium actually, and he come up to me. We had the media shoot 2 days before captains and all that in Sydney for the season. I think it was 2 days before the season started, and he just come up to me like not crying, but come up to me with a real sad face, and I goes, "I literally just got sacked." And I was like, "Are you taking the piss?" And he's like, "No, I literally just got sacked." Robbie Middleby called me and said, "I'm not needed at the club anymore." So that was 2 days out. I think 3 days out from the season.
So what was all like? I know, like I said, obviously you brought in his son, who I believe was underdone. Like he wasn't even, he was still injured, and
look, there was a lot of issues about the state of his knee at the time and whether he should have been signed and all that type of stuff. So yeah, there was obviously a lot of rumours going around at the time. Look, me personally, if he knew that, obviously he probably did, but if he knew that his son was going to get paid an absolute mozza and his knee was no good, then obviously that's bad news. But I mean, I can't speak too much about that. All I know is that Jason didn't play a game for us,
Yep.
and he was signed for like $1 million, so it's probably bad business in the end. But
Mm.
it's not just him; it's got to go through all the physio stuff and all that's got to be checked off in the club. Can't blame the coach.
Well, 100%. That's it.
100%.
He can't. He's not getting the final say. No, even that's it. Even if he knew that his knee was still cactus and shit, he's not gonna.
No, that's it. Yeah,
the
there's got to
doctors
be
are going to do tests. They're going to do
before him.
Yeah,
for
100%.
sure.
So
What's the club doing in the first place?
Yeah, exactly right. So, but yeah, no, as a coach, obviously, and a person, obviously, yeah, you seem to have got on okay with him.
Yeah. Like I said, I had a respect for him as a person. Not the best coach I ever had, probably not
Yeah.
the worst, but definitely not the best. And he got the boys playing, a decent brand, and I guess that's pretty much all I've got to say. I actually, he gave young players a go, and that's about it.
I suppose that's a good thing if he's giving young blokes to go. Yeah, it's what you want somewhat in a coach. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give young blokes a go. They're the future at the end of the day. So,
sure.
We'll move on. What do we got? So we'll move in obviously to the final season. We'll start wrapping it up because obviously Topper's coming around. You were saying so.
I think he's out there now. You want me to bring him in?
Absolutely, mate.
May
May as well. He knows all about it.
He'll kill me.
That's all right. I was going to hit you up afterwards and say, "Friggin' tee it up for me," because
COVID. He's not here. Don't worry about it.
That's good. What we got? So you're heading into the final. You're heading into the final season. You're appointed captain again.
Yep.
Now, obviously, the squad that was assembled for that season, in my opinion, one of the strongest sides I reckon we had on paper. And obviously, I never played with them, so you're the best person to talk to about that. We finished 8th, and obviously, we're talking, blokes like Bridge, Heskey was in there.
Yeah.
Who else was in there? Craig Goodwin.
Rubes.
Yeah, Zad.
Zad.
What was the other one I was just thinking of? Goodwin. Who was the other one that was up front as well? Oh shit, can't remember.
Not Tags.
Taggart was in there as well, wasn't he? Yeah, Taggart was there. So, all these sort of players. What was that like? Obviously playing with blokes. We'll just say like Heskey and Bridge. Obviously, 2 world-class players. Obviously played at the top level in the Premier League and so forth. How was that?
Yeah, look, I got a lot of time for those lads and stuff. They bring a lot of experience, and it's good that players like them can come out to our shores and give back to the game and all that type of stuff. You only got to see what Del Piero and Shinji Ono and Dwight York and a few other players that have Royce obviously as well, but he wasn't a big name when he come out. But I mean, the impact that they have had on the A League, without players like them, although young players need to be given a chance to develop and play games at a younger age, I believe, for us to continue. It's good at that time to generate, bums on seats for the A League. I think it was great. But both good people. I had a lot of time for Emil. And I got along with him really well. Obviously knew Bridgie for all that, and played with him at the Jaffas as well. So, it's good that people like that can come back into the group. But yeah, I agree with you. We had a really good group. I think we were first or second for a long time that season. We're flying.
Yep.
We were flying, and it's I guess one of them. There's the year that I obviously left. So. Yeah, like I can't say too much about that after I think, I don't know, maybe around 16 I left, but yeah, it's well, it was a good group, and we showed the potential that we could, in the top 2 of the league for a large period of those sort of 10, 14 games.
Alrighty, so we'll move on to the next one that I've got here, and that is, let's talk about your final season on a more personal level. Did you have an inkling that your contract was not going to be renewed, or did it come to you as a complete shock?
Yeah, complete shock. That's why I was so, I guess, not disappointed. Like I said to, Dutchy at the time, I said, that it's fine. Like, I've got no issues, but I just wish I would have known 4 months ago, because this went on for a long time. My manager was talking with Robbie, and Robbie was saying that myself and Emil were priority signings. I still remember it, saying it directly to my face and to my manager, like, priority signing, yeah, rah, rah, rah. And as it went, I wasn't. And there was always going to be a little bit of an issue with what happened, not from my end, but I mean, Dutchy left the year. What happened the year that we won the final? Then, Robbie called me like a day before they made the announcement, or after they'd sacked the thing, and said, "Oh, we're bringing Dutchy back in. Do you have an issue with it? You're the current captain." I said, "I'm a professional, no issues, rah, rah, rah." And everything was going fine. We were doing really well, winning the league, top couple in the league, rah, rah, rah. And then I did me knee medial, and yeah, I don't know, just something just sort of, switched, I guess. And then, yeah, come back and started doing well for the team and that. And then, yeah, he obviously had told Robbie well before, and Robbie didn't have the guts to tell me that I wasn't going to be retained. But this went on for like 3 months. That's why I was so pissed off. So I was just like, I'm done with you. So you just can, you don't want to be honest. I'm the club captain. You don't just be honest with me and let me go and, find another club or whatever, So that's what was the hardest part. But I mean, water under the bridge now. I don't think I've seen Robbie Middleby since, but that is what it is. That's what happens in football. I just wish I had known at that time a little bit earlier and stopped lying to my face,
So when you were told, was that it?
Yeah, I just targeted Dutchy. Like, he was dodging me as well. I just said, "Oh, can I have a meeting with you after the training?" And he dodged me for a couple of days in a row. And then I just pulled him in like the third day in a row and said, "You need to tell me what's going on." And he basically said, "Yeah, I told Robbie months ago that you weren't in our plans." And obviously, yeah, I didn't know that. And I had an inkling, but I mean, I didn't know at that time. So I just sort of stormed into Robbie, got Robbie on the phone and just said, "You've dicked me around for too long. I want out." And that was it.
So you walked in and then that was it?
Yeah, I said, "That's it. You can, I'm done with you. I'll give my heart and soul for the club for however many years." And this was like on and ongoing for like, he just lied to our face the whole time, just didn't have to tell it.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was it. Obviously, I went and spoke to a few of the senior boys and just said, "Look, I don't think he'll be back. I don't think anything's going to change. Unfortunately, it's not normally my personality to leave boys like that, but I just had enough of, I guess, certain things. Like, hands were tied so many times, captain, by trying to go and do things for the boys, and we were just told no. You're not getting anything. This went on for pretty much the whole time that I was captain. Like, we're trying to get even just small things for the players, like, on double sessions, like some lunch or something, or when we were happy to chip in, but they just wouldn't part with any money. So we're just like treated like amateurs, but trying to play a professional game and being at the top of the league as well. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, mate. Well, we're gonna start wrapping it up. The only thing I've got other than that is the were there any offers? You know what I mean? Obviously, you're 28.
No.
You know what I mean? I was shit. Christ, there was like 6 years. As I said, I've been part of the Jets, been part of the fan base squadron, NCL, all that shit. Friggin', we were shocked as fans. We were just like, what the hell? Where is he? What's going on? And then obviously there was nothing. You know what I mean? The next week you've signed for Lambton.
There
happened?
was. My contract was going to be renewed by Melbourne Heart at the time, with John Aloisi. So he called, and at that time, I think I was just drained, like coming off another bit of an injury and stuff. And I was just I'd had enough of where the Newcastle Football Club was at, to be honest. I literally I think it was nothing against Robbie. The way he dealt with things, I guess I was just done with them, and it just sort of made me hate it a little bit, I guess, if I'm being honest. But I mean, and then I went back training after about 6 weeks, went and enjoyed myself with mates and stuff, went and did some fishing and went away and stuff, and then sort of felt like, fuck, you are only 28, you need to pull your head in. So I did that and just started training by myself for a couple of months and got really fit. And then Brisbane Roar in the Mike Mulvey was the coach. So they flew me to Brisbane, basically for an agreement, basically to say, yeah, we want you. They were in the Champions League at the time, and weren't doing great in the Champions League, and they were going to offer some midfielders. And he said, look, we want you, rah, rah, rah. Flew us to Brisbane, handshake agreement, all that type of stuff. I sort of thought that's where I was going. Like, I didn't think anything of it. That's where I was going to go. Kept the hush. And then, and then they started doing well at the back end of the year, and they ended up retaining the midfielders that they were going to get rid of. And then the new Chinese consortium came in and said, you're not signing any new players. And yeah, he just called me and said, sorry, we want you, but we can't do anything. So that was it. And that was sort of the end of it. I was just like, I'm done. I'm going to go and play with my brother. And that's pretty much how it ended. So, I was, happy enough to, I didn't have that burning desire. I sort of had enough done. I'm struggling to work day to day anyway. So.
As I said, mate, we'll sort of wrap it there. The only last question I've got for you is obviously your company, the Jobe Wheelhouse Football, which obviously is your pride and joy now, your baby, and you're doing well as I heard off air. So just from that, mate, obviously, how can obviously the fans and everyone else help you out, get involved? Obviously from the website and everything I've had a look at, obviously you've got the likes of Jobe Wheelhouse, Joel Griffiths, talking to Joe Wells, Joel Griffiths. What else did I see in there? Obviously, like coach, and there was a few others.
We've had some pretty big, guest coaches come in. That was probably a little bit more early on in the piece when we were trying to generate, a great deal of interest. But I mean, most of the stuff that we do ourselves, we used Scotty McCarter and Perry Mellon, and we're starting to use them currently with the whole COVID thing. So yeah, we've always bringing in different individual coaches depending on what program or what session it is. But I mean, I generally do majority of the coaching with a couple of offsiders, and yeah, it's been 8 years now, so we're building along and everything's good. And yeah, we've just started a new online one term too with the whole COVID restrictions. So we're obviously we've got plenty of one-on-one stuff in for the next couple of months. But yeah, as of sort of school holidays finished, we've got we're going online, which is new for us and it's exciting. And yeah, we're just in the process of filming all the sessions for our players. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so we just had a quick look at the website then. Bloody a sneaky shot of Taylor Regan in there as well. Did I just see that, Ben?
Yeah, that would have been a few years ago now.
I was going to say
for a while.
Fly in from Malaysia or whatever for a bit of a run, did he?
Yeah. Can you see how big his calves are there? Or
oh yeah,
massive.
Yeah. Bloody freaking Christ! Love another newy boy. So yeah, as I said, guys, go check the website out. You got Facebook page, website, Jobe Wheelhouse Football.
Thanks, guys.
Muchly appreciated, mate. Ben, any last ones before we wrap him up and send him on his way to shenanigans with Topper? That could be a
I've got nothing on the top of my head.
No. We'll just leave it with the one question, mate. Best player you have played with and played against?
Oh.
That's all right. You can throw him under the bus.
Yeah, that's it. Best player I played with.
Griff will be pretty upset if he doesn't say Griffer.
Yeah. He'd have to be in the top 10.
That's all. He'd probably do that.
Troy Halpin played with him and against him. He's right up there in terms of Australian players. Player that's gone on to have the biggest career, probably Denny Alves. Yorkie was a gun when I was first coming in, when in the A League. Del Piero at age 40 was just an absolute different level. Me and Ruben were just chasing him. Literally couldn't get near him at footy, so it was 25. But yeah, Troy probably in Australia, no doubt about that. And yeah, probably the ones that I've mentioned for overseas.
No, fair enough, mate. You've been an absolute legend. Thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure, mate. And we'll hopefully talk to you later on in the piece somewhere along the line. But yeah, go check his Facebook, website and so forth, and get your kids and so forth involved with obviously Jobe Wheelhouse football. Thanks again, mate.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
See you, mate. The live stream, Ben, mate, legend. Thank you very much. Bit of technical issues there at the start, and
No, never.
bit of crap. It's stock standard, mate. Apologies to everyone in the chat. Obviously, if we haven't got through to you and so forth, it was like a little school kid, freaking.
That's all right. We can take a screenshot of that and send it to Jobe and get answers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get a screenshot of that and get some answers back. I'm sure he'll be happy to comment on it and so forth.
Might be able to get Topper's answers too.
Absolutely. I'm going to send him a message now and just go, what you got in there? Here's me details. See if he's keen. What have we got? Lockie, well done, boys. Really good interview. Muchly appreciated, Lock. Thanks again to obviously everybody who has joined. Chris, what was an awesome interview.
Chris, Luke, who's always here.
Luke's always here.
Aiden.
Thanks very much, mate. Aiden's here. And everyone else, obviously, who didn't comment and who was obviously listening in. Yeah, as I said, guys, it's a pretty tiring time at the moment. There's not much football, obviously, and anything we can do to obviously give a little bit of football back, obviously Newcastle Jets related. I'm currently in trying to tee up, obviously, a few other ex-Jets. Matty Thompson, hopefully be here next week, which I'm sure Jobe could have given us some insight into Matty. He's got plenty of stories about Matty, Matty Thompson. But yeah, guys, look, as I said, if you guys have got contacts with any of the ex-players and so forth, be sure to hit them up and send them.
Is there any ex-players that you want to hear from?
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely, ex-players you want to hear from. It doesn't have to be the Jets. I'm happy to try and get anyone on. At the moment, as we said, it's tiring times, and any football content's better than no football content. So,
well, there is one that we probably could get, but I don't think I'd be able to sit in the same room as that.
There's probably plenty. There's probably a few people I could probably get.
Ex-Wellington, ex-City, ex-Ali. Not a Jet, ever.
No, you lost me now. City.
You work it out.
Oh, what's his name? Muscat. Manny.
Yes. There you go. You've made me say it.
He's
yes.
a good bloke. What I was going to say. What do we got there? Luke, yeah.
Just a yeah.
Just a yeah. Give me a yeah.
All right, there's a couple of questions in here. What's young Abe doing up to? Is he still playing? Remember reffing him? Such a quality player, says Lockie.
Yeah, well, that's obviously a question we obviously didn't get through. We rambled on. Obviously, we want to get him out of here. We try and keep it to an hour. It's gone over that. To answer your question, he's currently back at Toronto. He's out at the Stags. He was there last season. Obviously, we were talking off air about it. Left Lambton. Now he's at the Stags. Just gone back to help the boyhood club and everything else, and any way you can. As I said, he's only 34, so.
Might want to give him a bit of insight into the Wikipedia joke that keeps cropping up.
What one?
Well, we keep mentioning how wrong the Wikipedia is. Would you like to let them know on the inside joke?
These guys. Oh, yes, yeah. So I was talking to Jobe yesterday just about a few things of his career and so forth. Obviously, I didn't want to butcher. And we're talking about obviously Wikipedia and so forth. Well, the guys down at Wikipedia and whoever's whacked it in there, as everyone can just jump on and do what they feel like, has butchered his date of birth. So whatever the date of birth is on his Wikipedia
And his current club.
But he's probably kept that pretty quiet. I said I've got the NPL and all that sort of shit all on Facebook and the Stags, as I've played for the Stags, so I look at them pretty closely. And I didn't see a freaking thing as saying welcome Jobe Wheelhouse to the club. So they must have been keeping that one pretty quiet. But yeah, look, as I said, guys, we're going to try and keep these sort of up. That was more of an insight into obviously, him as obviously the grand final and being a Novocastrian and so forth. The interviews going forward, I'm not really going to. That was more of a set. I had a set list with a few things, obviously being the ACL and obviously the fact that he only played 40 minutes of his second season in the A League. And at the same time, this is very low key. It's not set structured like obviously your Fox Sports and so forth podcasts where they virtually want bang, 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 and I'm more than happy here to just let him go.
Yeah, a little bit more of a relaxed environment, not so much formal interview sort of thing. We're not journalists.
No, absolutely not.
We just as we are just like fans, like anybody else that just want to know and are interested in what these ex-players that have done well for our club and done for our club are up to and what they're aspiring to in their life after football.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't need those on because I'm not listening to anybody. But yeah, look, as I said, it's very low key. I'm just gonna, as I said, if they want to ramble on for 15 minutes on the same topic, I'm just going to let them go. Like,
yeah,
if we don't get all the questions, which there was plenty there that we missed and skipped through and so forth, you know, I would have liked to hear a little bit more about Tinkler-esque.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of dramas there and everything else.
But what's said that hasn't already been said or come out in the years afterwards, though?
Answers from players.
Yeah, the other side of the coin is even still as a player, he still needs to be very careful about how and what he says.
Oh, look, 100%. But even little things, you know what I mean? Like, before Jobe said anything about Branko, I thought he was a tosser. I thought he'd sink us.
I agree with that. I
thought he'd sinked us. Again, as Jobe said, I definitely know that bringing his son in or whatever it was and getting him cleared was obviously not his. He's not walking in and just going, you pay him $1 million, you sign him no matter what, fucking end of story, get him to sign there. I know that wouldn't have happened, so I know that it wasn't him, you know what I mean?
Pushing that move, yeah.
Him obviously getting him over here.
But also the sacking 3 days before the start of the season that Jobe mentioned as well. For a manager to become visibly upset whilst trying to tell the captain 3 days before the season starts that, you know, it's over for him.
Yeah.
That, you know, managers they're pretty hardened characters. They're not, you know, they don't take that to heart when they're sacked. They only take it to heart when they're sacked for a reason that is outside their control, or there's something political going on, or blindsided, or something up the top. And the thing that I enjoyed most about that interview was the insight into Robbie Middleby when he was at the Jets.
Yeah.
Now, I was showing you wouldn't have seen it on screen because we don't have the webcam on tonight, but whilst Jobe was talking about Robbie Middleby, I was looking through currently what Robbie Middleby is up to. And he's just so happened to have taken a job at FFA. I'll pull it back up on my phone because I thought it was relatively interesting. Where is he? It was his LinkedIn profile.
Oh, the link, he's LinkedIn.
The one that I showed you. It was his director of Middleby Consultancy, that's fine. But he's currently, as of March 2020, the general manager for Member Federation Relations. So if he can't walk up to a bloke and tell him that his contract's not going to be renewed, and he pussyfoots around, this is the guy that's in charge of Member Federation Relations.
Right.
So, in essence, a major communication role for the FFA.
Yeah.
If you can't tell a player that he's not getting renewed, what, you know, how is he meant to be the communication manager for such an important role for the FFA? But again, that's a topic for another day. What do we think of the whole Mark Viduka feud situation with Lucas Neal?
Yeah, look, as I said, I'll get to that in a sec. As I said, I'm sort of sticking to what we've been talking about at the moment.
Yeah, we'll keep
which I'm happy to quickly talk about. At the end of the day, it's up to Ben and what he's got planned and shit like that. I don't have to work tomorrow, so
I don't.
But yeah, I don't know about anyone else. It's only 8:30. Okay, I'm so freaking.
It's 9
this daylight savings thing. Still think it's 10 o'clock. My body's just not.
Well, it technically is.
Yeah.
But on the
I'm just trying to tee up Topper.
As for the Mark Viduka feud, I to be honest haven't really looked into it too much. I sort of want to stay away from it.
Yeah, look.
We all knew we all knew there was something going on behind the scenes. We've always known that.
Viduka. See, my biggest problem with the interview, how to put this without sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Look, he is a bit of a snake. Viduka is that type of person who will throw someone under the bus openly and not care. We've clearly seen that.
He's a give no fucks.
And he won't care about the consequences or repercussions or if people come back at him. He's wiped his hands with football. We've clearly seen that.
He did that the day he retired.
Yeah. If he was that anal, honestly, if he was that anal, he would be that bloke who would ring the Melbourne Knights and ask them to take his name off the friggin' Mark Viduka stick.
Yeah.
Thing
at Knights Stadium.
Yeah, anyway, he would be that asshole because he has wiped his hands with football. He wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and he said
he's happy making coffee in frickin'
Croatia.
Yeah, absolutely. So look.
It is.
Do I believe what he said is correct and what is true? Absolutely.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise
me. Absolutely. He's gone on national TV, knowing huge SBS World Game, whatever, clearly stating that he knew what was happening. He knew this was going to get out to everybody around the world. He knew who he dogged and Graham Arnold and Lucas Neal, who he would have had a bit of a dig at and everything else. He knew that they were going to get wind of it.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to message him or whatever it is, but he don't give a shit.
But at the same point, you look at it from the other side of the coin too. People like Graham Arnold and Lucas Neal would have been sitting there thinking, this is going to come to a head one day. We can't hide it forever.
Oh, look, yeah, no.
So you've got that on the other side of the coin as well. Do I rate them both as players? Yes. Do I think they're both part of the golden generation? Yes. Did they not get on? It's possible. Not everybody in the world is going to get on with everybody else. Do you still have to play in the same national team together? Yes, you do.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Absolutely.
You put playing for a national team is a massive honour, and that's something that Jobe discussed earlier. Like, even playing, not even he would have loved to have had a full cap for Australia, but even his youth caps, he treasured those moments. So to play for your country is a massive deal. You put all that other shit aside for the better of the team.
Yeah.
Especially in that time of the golden generation.
Yeah, look, what do we got? Look, at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. In my opinion, it's irrelevant. It's something that happened friggin' over a decade ago. My biggest taking from that interview and the stuff that really made me think and so forth was the way he was talking about the youth development.
Yeah.
For me, that was way more important than any scrap or shit he had with the national team and whatever.
But you can tell nowadays that's where his passion lies.
100%. And it always has been. It always has been. You can tell at the end of his career, as he said, he openly said, he goes, that's why I retired.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't dealing with that shit. The whole youth structure had gone out the window. These young blokes coming through, again, whether it was true or not, were all about the friggin', the money and the side deals and obviously the sponsorships and all that sort of shit and anything they can get their hands on.
Yeah, and it was obvious that by the end of his time at the Jets, the club had changed so dramatically from what it was when he first started that it was just done. Yeah. He was just done. Yeah. Didn't want a bar of it anymore.
Yeah, it's look, it's hard. As I said, I one of Australia's best strikers. But for me, one of the worst strikers who ever played for their national team.
You're referring to Mark Viduka?
Mark Viduka.
I'd agree with
his
that.
heart was never in it. Playing, as I said, like Jobe stated that playing for his country was all he wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the pinnacle. And playing for the under-20s as good as it was and everything else, it's not the same as playing for the full cap national team.
Yeah, exactly.
Is where Mark Viduka was very different. He couldn't have given a shit.
Yeah, and I'd agree with
going away and everything else. He was so driven and so hell bent on making. As he said, and one thing that I never knew about, he was close to signing for Manchester United in the era that Manchester United was so dominant.
Viduka, yes.
So that to me just proves the lack of commitment and the lack of interest he had for the national team.
Oh, even
you can't tell me that the bloke who was playing for our national team would have any chance in hell of making that squad of United.
No way.
Not a chance.
No way.
He was a different class. He was a different class when he played for club. The 3 goals he scored against Liverpool, and I'll hate him for it forever, again, when he was playing for Leeds, it wasn't a fluke.
No.
He would do that shit week in, week out. He may not have scored a hat-trick every week, but he would score goals for fun in the Premier League.
He was somebody who was good at the game, but not necessarily had the passion for the game like a lot of players had. It was, I'm good at this, I can make a career out of it, but I'm not fussed where I do it.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, and that's the biggest thing, and I suppose that's the biggest thing with players, and he's not the only one, nor will he be the last, who, you got to think as well, guys, he come from nothing.
Yeah.
Croatian born, nothing. He had nothing. He had to work for everything he got. Nothing was handed to him on a silver spoon.
He worked hard in the end.
Like some players are, like prime example, Tim Cahill.
Yeah.
He was given everything. You know what I mean? And that's like, again, he came from somewhat nothing. But there's blokes who get given everything, and he was. Timmy Cahill, he got everything given to him. Every sponsorship, and that all the good shit fell in his lap.
Mm-hmm.
Going from Everton, going to Everton, and then leaving Everton, and frigging all that and so forth. All the big money deals and all that sort of shit was all there. Mark Viduka, as I said, I suppose as well the biggest thing is he played in a different league. The EPL back then and the Scottish Championship when he was at Celtic and places like that, Newcastle United, Middlesbrough and stuff like that. Like he come out and stated that he reckons he played some of his best football at Middlesbrough. I would disagree with that, but whatever.
I would.
His
heyday was...
He's coming out stating that now. It may not have been about the goals at that point. It may have been just his leadership and what he was doing on off the field more so than what he was doing on it. But look, got nothing against the bloke at club level. Hated watching him play for the national team because the biggest thing is, and he missed that penalty in 2015. That's 2005 against Uruguay. I remember watching it back now. Obviously, I got the DVD and it was on TV the other night. People their hands in their head and oh my god, like they'd never seen him miss a goal before. Penalties
in an Australian shirt.
Penalties, mate. I don't think his ratio would be shite.
Oh yeah,
he would have been lucky. How many goals did he score at the international level?
4 caps.
Yeah.
Out of 4 cap, 11 out of 43 games.
11 out of 43 games. Okay. Let's compare that.
Even if you do compare it to Tim Cahill.
No. Let's compare that to Harry. Put Harry Kewell up there. What was he at?
The age-old comparison.
What was he at? And it's a good one to compare them to because they played majority of the games together.
Yeah, but at the same point as well.
Club level as well.
Yeah, but Kewell played out wide.
Yeah,
which
100%.
is going to significantly lower that.
Will it?
Well, technically speaking, you'd think that it would. 58 games, 17 goals.
Right. So, and again, he played more games, but he was a little bit younger. He played more games, but he played majority of those games out wide.
Yeah.
Not more central. He would have scored most of those goals central.
Yeah.
More than out wide. But they're almost the same. You know what I mean? Viduka is an out-and-out striker. How many goals did Harry Kewell score
and
club level compared
Kewell actually played 3 more years in the national team than what Viduka do.
Yeah, and that would obviously have only scored a couple extra goals than
Yeah.
the Dukes. Viduk's an out striker like that.
Yeah.
Harry Kuehl wants the ball. It's
Yeah.
about the goal. But how many goals did Harry score at club level?
At club level, over 381 games, he scored 90.
Right, and what was Viduka at?
Viduka was out of 409 games, 202. So nearly a 1 in 2.
Yeah, but that right there proves it. You compare his international to someone like Harry Kuehl and their club comparison to Harry Kuehl. You got to think Harry Kuehl played at friggin' he played at Liverpool. He played in the Champions League. He played friggin' FA Cups. He played Europa Leagues. He's played all these things. Viduka played Europa with Leeds. I know he played international, European level with Leeds. But most of those games were all at just club and your cups.
Yeah.
Your English cups and shit. So the proof's in the pudding there. How many goals? 200 and
Viduka.
yeah, sorry, 400.
409 games, 202 goals.
202 goals. And Kuehl was lucky to score 90. Again, but that's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying. Yes, he only scored 90 goals. He's not an out-and-out striker. You would expect Viduka to score more.
Okay, that's interesting. I never knew about that. You probably do because it's probably recognised news. You know who Mark Viduka's cousin is?
Got a couple of.
Luka Modric.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I sneezed. Someone else from the Croatian team as well.
That was just on his Wikipedia page, so we don't know how truthful that is.
Yeah, don't quote. But no, that is correct. That is correct.
No,
he is stated.
Figured it was.
Before we go too far, Chris, I've already done an interview with Joel. Go listen to it. It's an absolute cracker. Done that one with Chris McPherson. It was a cracker. Go listen to it, mate.
He doesn't hold back.
No, it's the best thing about Joel. It's probably a good thing about a lot of these blokes who don't play anymore. They don't give a shit. Even the whole "I'll be careful," they don't care.
Oh no.
I will obviously try and sort one out with Joel again. Because he's good value. He's very open. He doesn't give a shit. And he does give a good insight as well as Laurie to the club as a whole right now. So it will happen. Bobby, mate, friggin' Bobby. I tried to seen his little podcast,
his vlog,
his little vlog
BBC,
thing.
BBC shared it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen that and everything else. He was in isolation. Would have been perfect time to team up and fuck all. But I'm still trying.
We still haven't met the bloke.
Yeah, I'm still pretty pissed about that. But look, in general, getting players like that, I'm happy to speak to anybody. I don't give a shit. And that's why I'm saying to you guys, obviously, I know a lot of you guys have got blokes on Facebook and everything else, a lot of just random footballers.
I want to do an interview with one, but Jesus Christ, good luck if you can get them.
Oh.
Good luck if you can get them, and B, good luck if they still remember their English.
Oh.
Leaky G.
He never had English to start with.
Yes, he did.
Good luck with that. Fucking break down English.
Oh well, Tags is playing there, so swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, he's playing Tag there. Look, as I said, guys, I've spoken to a number of players. A number. Some have said yes and then fallen off the face of the earth.
We won't name names.
Absolutely, we'll name names. Friggin'
BK.
Ben Kennedy. So, to answer your question, I have spoken to Ben numerous times. I have now messaged him numerous of times. He hasn't seen the posts, whatever. So he's not obviously too keen to do it.
Carl, good luck.
Yeah, look, as I said, blokes like Carl Robinson, I'm more than happy to do it. And I've spoken to Laurie and so forth. Blokes like Carl, not going to happen. I believe Carl's gone back already. Again, don't quote me on that. That's not on Wikipedia. That's just my knowledge. It's probably the same as Wikipedia.
But yeah, anybody who's generally first team or at the Jets now is difficult because we have to liaise with actually the media and PR people at the club.
Current players are hard. A lot easier for me, again, if I'm in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Walk into the frigging club,
Say, I want to speak to this person now.
Fucking
Can I grab you for 5
whatever.
minutes?
I'll go down to the training session or whatever it is and sit there and do the interview. And it'll happen. It'll somewhat happen because they're confronted. And
Yeah.
again, it won't be an hour long, but you will get your interview. Again, it's hard for me because I'm down here. So current players is a pain in the ass. As I said, former players I've spoken to.
Matty.
Matty Thompson. As I said, Matty Thompson's agreed. He said he'll be on. He's happy to come on next week. Who else have I spoken to that said? I've spoken to Bridgie. Bridgie, again, he'll be a hard one. He's obviously flat chat and everything else, so that'll be hard. But he's said that he's more than happy to do it if the times come together and we can sit down and sort it out. I've spoken to Bosnich, and Bozza is happy to, and it pains me. Bozza and yeah.
Played for 2 of the clubs that I hated, but I still interview him.
Yeah, exactly right. But at the same time, I will interview him because his story and his knowledge and what you would get out of him with an interview from a fan, a young fan, obviously back when he was playing with the likes of your Ryan Giggs, your Paul Scholes, your whole United squad.
Yeah, I'd open with a line to Bozza of, "You went from my favourite Australian goalkeeper to my all-time most hated in one day."
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, why? When did that happen? I said, being a Birmingham City player when you moved from Manchester United to Aston Villa.
And then it got worse because you played for the Coast. Can't you
Yeah. So you broke me both times, Bozza. You broke me both times.
Again, it doesn't matter. Zad's mate, friggin' happy days. Bring sign him up. You know him. You've got a contact for him. Send it my way.
I'd actually wouldn't mind.
Caravella, all those players. I will interview the Pope if you can tee it up. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'd love to get Bira.
It'd very be interesting. There's a lot.
That would be an interesting one because of everything that happened around the last time he was here.
There's a lot of players there that I am trying. I'm in talks with a mate who has a mate.
Who has a mate?
No, it's just a second mate.
Who has a connection?
Who has a connection? Who has a connection with the slippery fish?
Enrique.
Who I would love to hear his story because cult hero at Brisbane.
Yeah, I'll try Caravella for us.
Yeah, mate, absolutely.
Q would be an interesting one.
Who?
Q, Jarlians.
Yeah, if he's still there, he was going back to the Netherlands at one point. But yeah, whatever.
Ernie.
Ernie.
That'd be an interesting
Yeah, absolutely.
You bumped into him.
Ran into him the other week. That was the weirdest shit ever. But as I said, guys, I don't care. I'm in the middle of speaking to a good mate who is the vice president of Avondale Football Club down here in the NPL. Just mainly to see what's going on with the NPL.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're in lockdown, no different up here in Newcastle. Obviously everyone's in lockdown. What are they doing?
Yeah.
How are they training? Are they training? Are they training to think that they're going to get a season in? Or are they just fucking wiped it and gone, do your own thing or whatever it is?
Training's off your own back.
Off your own bat, that's it.
In your own backyard.
Literally, whatever. I suppose you can go down the park if you want to, as long as no fuckers around and whatever. So, as I said, I'm more than happy. You ran into Ernie. Did you ask him what he's up to?
Yeah, it was a hilarious story. We'll save that one for another podcast, I think.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a short chat. I ran into him at the local shops, which fucking just spun me out. Again, I had to look 40 times. Like he called me out, not the other way around.
And here's the thing: we don't live in the city. We're about 45 minutes from the city.
Oh yeah, we're in rural.
Out west, out on the border of like rural and metro.
Yeah.
We still have diesel trains for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like that's how far out we are.
Yeah. It was a spin out. It was a spin out. He just popped. Yeah, he's like, I was wearing a Jet shirt, which obviously made it easier for him. I don't think he would have picked me.
Yeah. Well, the only other person in our area that wears a Jet shirt every day without fail when they go down the street, aside from you, is me.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he would have picked me out if I wasn't wearing a Jet shirt. But But yeah, no, he said he's doing well and everything else, and been
he's on the hunt.
He's on the hunt. He said he's looking. He's always looking for a job. He's not going to sit back and retire. He still wants to coach, and he still feels he's got a lot to give and everything else. And
he does, to be fair.
It was ironic that friggin' 24 hours before I ran into him, friggin' the Adelaide job looks like it's being opened up for vacancy. So
No,
that's
that
gonna
hasn't.
happen. No, it hasn't yet. It's going to happen.
I told you that months ago he'd be the one to get the arse.
Now, you told me that it was going to happen and it never happened.
It will happen.
I guarantee you that friggin' he won't see
It was. It was the only game he sat on the sidelines and managed the team in a full suit.
Yeah, well, there you go. He's friggin' not. He's still there technically.
Western Sydney, yeah, Western Sydney's up for grabs.
Yeah,
Victory's going to be up for grabs,
I
but he won't go back to Victory. He's not the style of manager that Western Sydney would have.
The biggest thing with Ernie Merrick is that he's in no rush, and I don't see him going anywhere too far from Melbourne.
Yeah. Even if he's going to drop down PNPL.
I think he way before he does that. But I think he'll just wait. I don't think he's in too much of a hurry. He's still getting paid out for the Jets at the moment. So
reunited with Barisha at Western United. Could you imagine the flurry and the fury?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Ernie, calm
person. Yeah, not.
Ernie's one of the nicest blokes you'll ever meet. Like if
Nate's
you guys
woken up. Night, Lockie.
See you, mate. Say to the missus. See you later. He's one of the. It's not the first time I've met him. He's I met him at the Jets. I'll meet him there as well. But first time I met him was at the end of season, the grand final, winning year, end of season.
Yeah.
End of season party or whatever it was. Not nice bloke, really nice bloke. He was, he'll talk your ear off and he's happy for a chat and everything else. And he'll, you done a great interview actually with the Jetstream.
Yeah, I remember that.
Jetstream got him on there and done a great interview with them. And as I said, he's very open and he's not shy and he bagged the shit out of Victory. You know what I mean? Like he don't care.
I'm just a massive fan of his dry humour.
Oh, absolutely. I just think I reckon if you asked a lot of the Jets players what was he like as a coach, like I don't see many of them having a bad word. I'm sure they'd be all his playing style was brilliant. It worked well. For me, these days though, he's a coach that he's a two-year coach.
Yeah.
You can only have him for 2 years, and he can only go to teams, I believe, that are not. I won't say struggling. Like I don't think he can help the coast. I don't think anyone can help the fucking coast.
He's a rebuilder.
That's not a dig.
He's a rebuilder.
It's not a dig at them because they're shit and
He's a foundation setter. He sets the foundation for somebody else to come in 2 years' time, take over, and build on that.
He finds the youth. He friggin' adds the youth and shit like that, and then is too scared to use the fucking youth, so someone needs to come in and do it, or get rid of them. But he's just that type of coach. For me, he's that type of coach. And it proved that in the grand final making season.
Yeah.
But what do we got? His reaction.
His reaction to McGree's goal is the exact same reaction he has for everybody's goals.
Yeah. He he's good. It's good though. It's like I compare him to Wayne Bennett. The rugby league. He just doesn't smile at anything. Won the grand final with Brisbane.
Yep. Thank you.
Freaking just. Yeah, cool. There's me medal. Thanks for that. Just walks off like it was fucking another day at the office. Ernie Merrick's just one of those blokes. Like he just freaking gone into work, and freaking stock market's plummeted by fucking millions of dollars, and just walked out. Like, yeah, well, that's fucked. Just walks,
And he just walks out and goes, "All right, I'll try and come again tomorrow." Any reason why he didn't put the web camera on tonight? 2 reasons. 1, I'm sitting here in a robe and pajama pants. And second of all, Josh is bald. I currently have more hair than him.
Yeah, that was a mistake. No, in all honesty, the main reason for no webcam, as Ben said, obviously he's in his pajamas. But you don't need to see our heads every day and whatever it was. And
I didn't get time for a shower. Basically, that's the answer.
Didn't get time to shower, just laziness. And again, we're not as lucky as you pricks up there. It's fucking freezing down here. So we're in the most basic shit you can fucking find.
I'm in a robe and lounge pants.
So yeah. But yeah, look, as we said, guys, obviously we're just, I'm happy, as I said, happy to interview anyone. I'm happy to talk about anything. You know what I mean?
Jobe was early readier than what we were.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jobe was ready to go. So, what have we got here?
Not important, but we may as well call it now because it's nearly 2 hours.
Jobe said no worries. Sweet. So yeah, we'll leave it. We're going to leave it. We're going to wrap it.
Aiden. So since it's freezing, Ben, what's the best drink to have on a cold winter's night? That depends. If you ask me this question now, I'll say coffee. If you asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have said a stiff drink.
Absolutely. I'm with the stiff drink. Fuck the coffee. What do we got?
Hot cocoa. No, coffee, mate. If you know me well enough, Chris knows me well enough, mate. It's coffee.
Yeah. Fucking
I've had about 5 today.
blacker than the friggin' women Chris.
No,
Chris has
I
been
drink
with.
white coffee. I only drink black coffee at work because I've got to bring my own milk and can't be asked.
Darker than the women Chris has been with down at Windale Shopping Centre.
All right, we nearly hit the magic 2.
Oh, that 2 hours.
Yeah,
Nah, too easy,
we're
guys.
rambling.
Well, as I said, guys, we're off till I'm off till Tuesday night, so we might do something else. As I said, with it. And again, if we're recording at my place, there is no cam because obviously I
He doesn't own one yet.
don't own one and I'm too poor and whatever. So, but we might tee something up obviously over the weekend or whatever.
As long as it doesn't interfere with my live streams, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we'll do it at about 5 o'clock on Sunday, Arvo.
I'll smack you in the head.
So, as I said, guys, we'll leave it there.
Cheers, Luke.
Give us some topics or anything like that. Yeah, as I said, if you just want to talk about anything, let us know. Leave it in the comments, message us or whatever it is, and say, hey, let's.
Yeah, but all of you have got us on fucking socials.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll friggin' jump on, download the Discord, which will be on the YouTube.
It's in the description. It should be
in the description of the YouTube. Jump onto Ben's Discord, add yourself, create an account or whatever it is.
Yeah, Discord link is there.
Beautiful. Create an account, and it's that simple. Just like Jobe did, jump on the channel.
Made his own account.
Whatever. We'll dribble shit like we do.
Well, no, his wife made it for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't give the bride a due. If without her, he'd be fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, jump on, guys. We're more than happy to have a chat. But yeah, thanks again anyway for tuning in. We muchly appreciate it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, share the video around. Obviously, thanks to Aiden for obviously putting it out on all the Jets pages, etc. Muchly appreciated. As I said, share it off those pages, which I'm sure you boys are part of, and get it to all your friends or whatever. I've just sent it to one of the guys from the Slutsk group.
Slutsky.
So up the Slutsk. So we'll get it. Stop it! It's not funny. It's their real name, all right?
I am aware.
And yeah, as I said, be sure to subscribe, tick the notification bell, so obviously you guys are aware when we do go live in case you miss it everywhere else. And be sure to go check out Ben's content as always. FIFA, any FIFA shit you can think of, it's on there. From drunken football matches to friggin' boring dead streams like this to fucking
to the custom
custom
career
real actual content that actually produces good shit and does well on a weekly basis. It's all there.
It's all there. Custom career mode's a fan favorite at the moment.
Vlogs.
Yeah, there's a couple of old school vlogs there.
Old school vlogs. We need to go back to Adelaide to do another one and do one properly.
I'd love to go back to Adelaide to do one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, wouldn't mind doing Perth.
Yeah, Perth's another good one. So there's something as well, boys. We'll tee up an away day.
Not this season, maybe next season.
What season?
The next season that starts.
2023. The hell are we in this for?
Nicaraguan League. Liga Primera on YouTube. Wow.
Yeah, boys. Get on it.
I'm sure there's a mod for it somewhere that I could download and put on FIFA 20.
Sportsbet got odds on that, or? It's been pretty shit lately. What was I going to say? But yeah. As I said, if you guys are keen, this season, next season, whatever.
It'll be next for me.
Next season, yeah, absolutely next season for us as well. We'll tee up an away day, more than happy for you to come down here, and we'll get on the sauce and whatever, and go from there. And yeah, all good. Muchly appreciated again, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you guys later, and Yeah, Brizzy. Oh, yeah, all for Brizzy. All for Brizzy. Only thing, Ben. Last time I went on a away day with Brizzy that Ben came on.
It's the only one I've been on.
He pushed out early and went home because his mate had a fucking headache or something.
Who?
Andy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
We
man.
won't go into that one, but yeah, no. So we do have to do another Brizzy one because he missed out. That was a good night.
I want to go to all the other places that I haven't been first.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It's hard for me.
What?
I'm trying to think where I haven't been.
I haven't done Perth. Haven't
No,
done.
not Perth.
I haven't done Perth.
I'm Perth. No, fuck,
Haven't done Sydney
Done them all.
or Western Sydney.
Oh, you wouldn't have done Sydney's, yeah.
I haven't done any of the Sydneys,
Yeah.
but I've got places to stay in Sydney, so that's fine.
They're nothing special.
I want to do Wellington. Me and Sarah both want to do Wellington as well.
Last question. Do you think A League will go back before next season is due to start? And if it doesn't go back, do you award Sydney any kind of title, even though the... Yes. I won. Season's done. Not coming back. Gonskis. Do you award Sydney the title? Absolutely.
Do you give them the trophy? No.
Yes. You give them the trophy. Why? Look at their form. Look how good they are. Look how dominant they are. Look how far ahead they are. It's no.
All right.
This is not. Again, it's no different to Liverpool. Yes, I'm a Liverpool fan. If Liverpool was 6 points ahead of second place, I would say no. But
Yeah.
when we are so far ahead,
Yeah, you're gonna look at the
it's
likelihood.
done.
The likelihood.
Sydney, with 4 games remaining, we're not going to be caught.
Oh
It's
no.
done. If there was any chance of them being catched, I would absolutely. Don't
Caught.
give them nothing. Caught, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't give them nothing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's done.
but still mathematically possible.
Yeah. I'm going to go with mathematics.
Still mathematically possible.
I've done Western Sydney Wanderers this season.
Oh, Luke did the Western Sydney Wanderers
asking
day.
a Liverpool fanny. Oh, fuck off, Chris. No, look, at the end of the day, it's what it is. We will
It's
get
not
our
just A
title.
League; it's every league that's in this position.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's it. Everyone.
every league.
If every team in their competition are dominant and they are well and truly ahead of everybody else, and I don't care if they can be caught because there's fucking 30 games to go. If they are at this current point well and truly adrift of second place, award them the title.
Yeah.
They've deserved it to this point. It just means that this season finished there.
Yeah, instead of
That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's no more games. The games aren't going to be played. That's when it was only a whatever game season. That's it. How many games have the Premier League played? Like, it'd be close to 30 now.
yeah,
The A League is only friggin' 26, 27 normally. It's now up a bit, but you know, the old seasons and shit were only 21 games. So at 21 games, if they're in front, they've won the title, whatever.
So I'd like to finish this stream on a very light note
Okay.
and a laugh
Oh, here we go.
and a very good laugh. So I had somebody on my channel subscribe, like a video, and comment on a video this morning. Right? He's only very new to my channel. And he's like, oh, would you mind going over and subscribing to mine? You know, sub for sub sort of thing. Which you know I don't normally do. But I went and had a look at it. And he's just started doing a berry rebuilding career mode. One of his first signings in that berry career mode. Ladies and gentlemen. One of his first signings in that berry career mode was Matthew Redenton. Yeah. So I thought that was quite hilarious. I figured it was worth a like, but maybe not.
Bloody Redenton. Bloody hell. You can't do a rebuild.
So he's got a gig. He's got a gig, ladies and gents.
You can't do a rebuild phase with a freaking team that's already in a rebuild phase.
And you know what? His in-game graphic has now been changed. You know his hairstyle's been changed in the new update.
Oh, really?
He actually has a top knot now.
Oh, far out.
Yep, he's got a top knot.
Oh.
And I'm like, ha, douche.
There's hope for me yet.
Yep.
But yeah, as I said, guys, what was I going to say before we really do wrap this up, because we're still rambling, but again, we're talking.
It's game over.
We're talking. It's done. The freaking season's done. But we are talking obviously your channel and a bit of my channel and shit like that. guys, if you do like your FIFA and shit like that, and you just want to have a bit of a laugh at yourselves and so forth, Ben is currently doing it's a Lads FC concept.
It's a custom career.
It's a custom career mode with obviously players like myself,
all other YouTubers and Twitch streamers.
Most of them are, YouTubers and so forth. Again, we've got, is it a full 11?
It is a full 11
with the YouTubers.
Yep, full 11 of YouTubers and Twitch streamers. And the manager.
But as I said, I haven't spoken about this. Is literally off the top of my head. But if you guys are interested, go over and subscribe. If you haven't done already, I'm sure he would have no dramas. It may not happen straight away, but to put to you boys, because I know you're here every week, possibly on the subs bench. Could that happen?
I'll have to look into doing it while there's a current career mode going. There may be a way.
Well, we've heard it here first. He'll sort it out. If not, we'll
If it's possible for me to do it without breaking the save, then yes.
Well, he'll look into it. But as I said, it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of a laugh watching yourself friggin' score goals and make dicks of yourself. It's
well, in your case, my case, I'm playing out of position.
There's a lot of people in there out of position.
Not really. I tried to make it as lifelike as possible whilst working with what I had.
You've got a Mr. Massive on the phone.
Yes, Luke. I could do that. I could rename youth players. I could rename the youth team players.
Yes, you could.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. See, there you go. I knew.
Well done, Luke.
Luke, on the ball, smart as. There's a bloke who subscribed to your channel.
He is. He's there every week from start to finish.
Yes, put me in, absolutely. So as I said, it's good, but
put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. Sounds like a plan.
We even the other day for the live stream were blessed with the manager in stream chatting.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. I'm not parting way with the fucking bar fridge though.
We're all still waiting for the Red Bull fridge, mate. Well, you might get your chance. She's finally starting the live stream again as of this coming Friday, so you might be able to get it.
I was going to say, where's she been?
She's had some personal issues that she's been dealing with.
Yeah.
She's got anxiety and stuff. So,
yeah.
But she has announced on her Twitter today that she's coming back.
Yeah, anyone was there.
Anyone was there. Teddy was there as well.
Everyone was there, I'm guessing.
Teddy was there too.
Teddy was there, yeah, I've seen that. Friggin' DK was there.
Yep, DK jumped in.
They're all there. I popped my head in.
DK and Kiki were fighting with each other.
But yeah, go to the other boys. Well, I know Luke is, but to the other boys, if you haven't subscribed to Ben's channel, it again is in the bio down below. Jump on there, subscribe, and so forth. And if you subscribe and you leave a comment on the latest episode of there, so he knows that you've subscribed. So he doesn't have to go digging for it, which sometimes you can't unless you've already got a YouTube channel. He'll look at possibly doing that, changing the names and so forth. Maybe just change the names at this point and then look at doing the full-blown overhaul in the next season. But yeah, everyone, what? Yeah. Correct himself. Anyway, mate, we'll catch you guys later. Again, we're more than happy to chat. Set up a fucking Facebook friggin' chat and we can talk football all night.
We've got Discord.
We've got Discord.
We've got Discord audio channels that are always completely open to people. They're more than welcome to have audio chats in there.
Yes.
Even when we're not streaming, it's not just for streaming. You can jump in there and chat
We've
about
got the
A-League.
boxing ring. We've got a dedicated friggin' section for Tara Rushton.
Oh yeah, I've got a dedicated section in there for the A-League still.
Yeah, Tara Rushton has her own friggin' section in there. We just find photos and just upload them and.
Yes, because we were trying to show one of our UK friends who Tara Rushton was.
Yeah, how good it is. Not
yeah, most of these lads are in Discord. I know Luke's in Discord. I've had him on the channel before.
Yeah, Chris is in there. I'm pretty sure. So Aiden, as I said, if you're not, I don't think you're in there. Jump down below. It's in there. Blah blah. And we'll talk this shit all night. It's just harder now doing it on here because whatever.
Well, no,
we can do it
everybody can do it from their phones and stuff.
I can do it from the comfort of my bed. I'm keeping the wife happy and friggin' socialising.
And you're not 1.5 metres away from me.
Yeah, I know.
And haven't been for the past 2 hours and 11 minutes.
It's been tough, guys. Don't worry about that.
It's alright, wearing masks. It's all good. Yeah. That's another reason why the camera's not on.
Yeah, exactly. Righto, guys. Muchly appreciated. We'll speak off chat. As I said, jump on Discord. We'll talk to you then. Well, if we don't speak to you, we will definitely do one, obviously, over the Easter break.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do not see you before Easter Sunday, have a good Easter. Hope it's as good as it possibly could or can be, obviously, with the situation of not seeing family and loved ones and so forth. Get your Zoom out.
House parties where it's at.
House parties, whatever you want. And yeah, as I said, just enjoy yourselves, eat plenty of chocolate, get on the piss,
And remember,
we hate
Coast Scum!
See you, lads.